There is a thing that happens to the human mind when it is left completely alone. Not alone like a quiet evening, not alone like a weekend by yourself. Alone in a way that has no end. No voices, no faces, no way to know if anyone is coming. Modern science has a name for what happens next, but ancient humans had no name for it. They just lived it, or they didn't survive it. Your brain was not built for silence. It was built for a group, for voices overlapping around a fire, for someone sleeping close enough that you could hear them breathe, for the constant low hum of other people existing near you. This wasn't a preference. This was the architecture. For hundreds of thousands of years, being alone meant one thing. Something had gone wrong. Either you had been separated from your group by accident, or your group was gone, or your group had left you behind on purpose. None of those options were good. So the brain developed a response to isolation that was designed to be unbearable. Because unbearable got you moving, unbearable made you search, unbearable kept you from simply sitting down in the silence and never getting back up. The pain of loneliness is not a flaw, it is an alarm. But what happened when there was nowhere to go? When the group was truly gone? When the landscape stretched in every direction with no sign of another human being? When days passed, then weeks? We know what happens because we have tested it. Not on ancient humans, on modern ones. Solitary confinement studies, cave isolation experiments, Antarctic winter stations where small groups are cut off from the world for months. Across all of them, the pattern is the same. First comes restlessness. The mind searches for stimulation it cannot find. Then comes the noise, sounds that aren't there, voices at the edge of hearing, shapes moving in peripheral vision that vanish when you turn to look. Then the boundaries begin to dissolve. The line between what is real and what the mind is generating starts to blur. And at a certain point, for some people, it stops mattering. The mind creates what it needs. Even if none of it is there, there is archaeological evidence of ancient humans who lived apart from groups. Some were outcasts, driven out for reasons we will never fully know. Some were survivors. The last person standing up to something took everyone else. Some simply got lost and never found their way back. What happened to them is written in the bones. Some survived. Skeletons found, far from any known group site show. Individuals who lived 4 years in isolation. They ate, they made tools, they kept moving. The mind held together somehow. But others show something different. Signs of behavior that serve no survival purpose. Repetitive markings carved into rock surfaces over and over. Objects arranged in patterns that had no practical function. Actions that looked, from the outside, like rituals performed for an audience that was not there. The mind had started filling the silence with something. Here is the part that stays with you. Across cultures separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years, ancient humans reported the same experience when they were truly alone for long enough. They heard things, voices, presences, entities that seemed to exist just outside the edge of perception. Some cultures built entire spiritual frameworks around these experiences. The lone wanderer who goes into the wilderness and returns with visions. The shaman who isolates deliberately to make contact with something unreachable in ordinary life. What if some of those visions weren't spiritual gifts? What if they were the sound of a human mind, doing the only thing it knew how to do? When the people disappeared, replacing them, not everyone came back. Some ancient humans who were separated from their groups simply stopped, sat down, made no more tools, lit no more fires. The evidence just ends. We cannot know what they were thinking in those final days. We cannot know if the silence felt like peace by then, or if it still felt like drowning. But we know this: the human mind has a limit, a point past which the absence of other humans becomes something it cannot metabolize, something it cannot reason its way through or survive its way around. Ancient humans hit that limit. Some of them crossed it. You feel it too, in smaller doses. The unease of a house that is too quiet. The way a long stretch of time alone starts to feel strange around the edges. The relief that moves through you when you finally hear another voice. That is not weakness. That is the same system that kept your ancestors alive for 300,000 years, firing exactly the way it was designed to fire. You are never meant to be alone. And somewhere deep in the architecture of your mind, you already know that. You have always known that.